Hey everyone, DJ Ricky here with Bullis DJs, and I just want to do a nice comparison between the trusted and true Bose S1 Pro battery-powered portable speaker and the much cheaper knockoff version of it, a Monoprice Stage Right D1 speaker. So I wanted to make this video in case anyone wanted to know the differences between a low-priced budget version and a cream-of-the-crop portable battery-powered speaker, and just share with you the differences and my thoughts of each one. So the Bose S1 Pro I've had since about a week after it came out, and I've done many events with it. It's a great little portable battery-powered speaker. It weighs about 15.6 or 15.8 pounds, I believe. And has a battery that claims 11 hours. I don't think that you can truly get 11 hours of use out of it, but 6 hours for sure. Maybe even 7 hours at an event, if you wanted to go that far. I use a speaker for ceremonies and cocktail hour. I charge up the battery the night before any event that I do, and I think that I might use a speaker for about 2 hours, realistically, at the average wedding that I do. You figure about an hour for cocktail hour. I might have it turned on for maybe up to an hour for ceremony. The ceremony itself, I'm usually playing 3 to 5 songs and providing microphones for the officiant and maybe a reader at the ceremony. And usually ceremonies these days really don't go more than 30-35 minutes at the longest. So you figure about 2 hours. And I wanted to buy another speaker just in case I had a larger ceremony or I needed to project sound in 2 different directions. So I bought this Stage Right speaker from Monoprice. I saw that they had one for only $130. That's the MAP price on this. And they run a lot of promo codes in sales, so you can actually get this a lot cheaper most of the time. So $130 is a MAP price versus this, which you can find on sale for $5.99 right now. There's a President's Day sale going on this month for Bose. Typically with the battery, it's $6.99. I think without the battery, it's $5.99 typically. So there's a big difference in price here. The Stage Right speaker, to be honest, I think it has an incredible value. For $130, it's similar, but you do lose some features with it. You gain other features. Alright, so let's check out the mixer section of both the Bose S1 Pro and the Stage Right D1 speaker. The Bose S1 Pro, you have 3 channels. You have a Bluetooth channel that is its own separate channel, or you have the auxiliary input located on that same channel. You don't have bass or treble controls for that channel. The other 2 channels, you have a XLR and 1/4 inch input, combo input, which I think is a premium input feature on speakers today. So you have that combo there. You do have reverb on it. I really don't use that. Bass and treble on both channels. And you have a unity dip on each dial. You can feel it right in the middle there on each dial at 12 o'clock. Smooth dials. You do have a line out, 1/4 inch line out, so you can line out to another speaker, preferably another Bose S1. And of course you have your on-off switch. Same switch is on the Stage Right D1 speaker. With this, you definitely have a different mixer section. They cut costs with it on certain parts for sure. Instead of using a combo jack, they only have 2 XLR inputs. I guess they figured XLRs are the most commonly used speaker cable or a microphone cable. So with this, you only have XLR, so you're going to have an XLR input with anything that you hook up to it. It does have a line out, which is XLR out. And they do have a screen on this, which is the One Plus. It has a screen. You do not have a screen on the Bose S1 Pro. You do have a slot for an SD card, or you can hook up a USB flash drive to this, which is pretty cool. And of course, you have buttons to control the music on the SD card or the flash drive. You also have a TWS button. This does pair with other D1 speakers, so you can wirelessly pair Bluetooth between this and other D1 speakers, which is pretty cool. The Bose S1 Pro, I believe there is no TWS feature. I mean, this came out, I believe, back in 2017. And that's when I bought this speaker, right after it had come out. And since then, they have not updated that. You have to actually link out to another speaker. They do not have true wireless. So that is a plus on the StageRight D1 speaker if you were to buy 2 or more of these speakers. This does have a mic and line input. In for mic, out for line. You do have dials. They do not have a dip at 12 o'clock. So you just kind of have to make sure you look at it. Put the dial right at 12 or more. I will say that you will have to go past 12 on this speaker to really get your output out there at an event. The MP3 dial is separate from this, so you could put your master up, and then you can use this to control your gain all the way to maximum volume. So, for example, if you have this at half volume, you can put this on max. It's only going to be half volume, 50% at unity. So I kind of like that feature. So you have 2 separate volume controls for your MP3 Bluetooth. Obviously, this is for the MP3, but it's linked to this master volume. So when you use that, you can put this all the way at master volume for your Bluetooth, and then gauge your actual volume with this, which I do like that feature. It's kind of neat. You do have a cooler battery light indicator here. In my opinion, you just have the lights. It shows you kind of a percentage, like all these green lights, if they're lit up, you have 100% battery. Actually, red, you could actually overcharge this battery, I guess, because if you're charging this for too long, that red light will come on, and you'll want to take off the charger. I did have that red light come on me when I first charged this. It took about 3 hours to go from low battery power to a full charge. About 3 hours. That's with a brand new battery, of course, already in here. And I will say that the battery is already inside the unit. It's not something where you have to install it like with the Bose. So I kind of like that feature too. And it does have a speaker pole input on the bottom, just like the Bose. If I put the Bose down, you have a very similar input. Of course, the battery on the Bose is right there, where this, I believe, is under this plate right here. I have a feeling this is probably like a marine-sized battery. I had an American Audio ELS Go 8BT before either of these 2 speakers. Didn't sound good, but it was the very first battery-powered speaker that became available to DJs. And I used that for a few years before I got the Bose S1 Pro. And that used like a marine 12-volt style speaker battery. One thing I did notice is it has a carry handle just like the Bose. It is a little thinner, not by much. Feel is a little different, a little wider area here to put anything extra in, like your phone or whatever. But you can still use this area for that too. 12.8 pounds in this speaker versus 15.6 or 15.8 on this. Similar, but this is definitely a little lighter. It is more of a see-through speaker grill. You know, it's not waterproof, obviously. Neither is a Bose, but I feel like one disadvantage here is that it is more open. So, you know, it'll be much easier for someone to spill a drink or something on this versus this, I think. is more of a enclosed grill. I don't think that's much of an issue at events with these speakers, but I wouldn't want to leave this out in the rain at all. It's definitely a much more open grill. This is a two-way 6.5-inch coaxial speaker design. So that is the main difference, whereas this has a 6.5-inch woofer with three 2-inch drivers in front of it. So it's more of an array style speaker. Whereas this is a classic two-way style. Almost like a car audio speaker is what it looks like, with the tweeter inside of the woofer, just resting on top of it. So that is the overview of the speakers. I will say that they both have the same position advantages. I mean, they're exactly the same in that regard. You can put them down their side. For monitor style, you can lay them like this. If you have them on the ground, you want to get some the sound to go upwards. They're very, very similar outside of that. The plastic quality on the Bose is a little more solid. But I feel like outside of that, they're pretty similar. This could probably scratch easier if you're just feeling it. Maybe a little easier than the Bose could. But the Bose is not scratch resistant. It can scratch, I believe. So that's the differences. You have a $130 speaker on Monoprice.com, StageRite D1 speaker, versus a Bose S1 Pro, which is $699 MAP or $599 if you catch it on sale. In conclusion, I'm going to say that I love Bose speakers, actually. The Bose definitely has a higher fidelity to it in the sound, and does get deeper in the bass. They've engineered the bass to go as deep as they can get it to have a 6.5-inch woofer. That's just for sure. But for what these speakers are used for, this is fine. This speaker sounds decent. It's fine. It outputs sound pretty good. Pretty similar to the Bose. The Bose does get louder when you really crank it. You can tell the differences between the two and their amp strength. I believe this is rated at 60 watts RMS, 120 peak. Bose, there's no rating, but you can tell that the amp is stronger in the Bose. But this is probably, I'm gonna say it gets about 80 to 85% as loud as the Bose. So not quite as loud as the Bose, but it keeps up with it to a certain point. So after this, I'll go ahead and go into the music demos that we recorded with royalty-free music for you, so you can take a listen to each one.
Girl, for you, I'ma switch locations, and it's all okay if you stay with me. Yeah, we can take it back to basics, little weed and some conversation, and it's all it takes if you stay with me. God damn it, what's happening? Got me falling again, it's a habit.
Okay, so now here is the Monoprice StageRite D1 speaker. First we will do rock music, and then jazz music, and then a hip-hop song, all royalty-free, of course.
Changes, girl, for you I'ma switch locations, and it's all okay if you stay with me. Yeah, we can take you back to basics, little weed and some conversation, and it's all it takes if you stay with me. God damn it, what's...
So this is how the Stage Right D1 sounds with the microphone. Stage Right D1. And this is how the Stage Right D1 sounds at 80% volume. Stage Right D1 speaker at 80% volume. This is how the Bose S1 Pro sounds at 50% volume. This is how the Bose S1 Pro speaker sounds at 50% volume. Now this is how the Bose S1 Pro speaker sounds at 80% volume. 80% volume with the Bose S1 Pro speaker with a corded microphone at 20 feet away. So my final thoughts on each speaker. The Stage Right D1 speaker from Monoprice. It's $130. I would give it like a 8 out of 10. It doesn't have all the input connections that the other speakers have, but I think it would work fine. If you're on a budget, if you just want a speaker for ceremonies or cocktail hour or small backyard parties, or you want a battery-powered speaker for whatever reason, this speaker will work fine. I think you'll be happy for it, especially for the price that you pay. I think that you'll be very satisfied. I don't really have any issues with the sound at this, at this size and price level at all. It's good sound, and I haven't used it at an event yet, but I think it would be fine. Maybe I will make a response video to this after a year or two of using this at events, but I think it'll do well. The Bose S1 Pro. I love the Bose S1 Pro. If you're a Bose fan, you're just going to buy the Bose. There's no question to it. In my opinion, I've listened to the Everse 8. I listened to the Mackie Thumpco. I listened to some other no-name brand, Pile, for instance. Pile battery-powered speaker. I've even listened to the Harbinger RT100 now. This one is the best one, in my opinion, that's out. After, 7 years or so of these battery-powered speakers being out, this one is the best. So if you want the best, go with the Bose S1 Pro. If you're looking for a budget speaker that looks like a Bose S1 Pro, and you don't want to spend $600, and you don't want premium fidelity on the sound, if you don't have to have like the absolute best sound, and all you're doing is Bluetoothing, or that you can only use, you can hook up with an XLR input just fine. You don't need a auxiliary input or a 1/4 inch input at all. I would get this speaker. This speaker is an amazing value for $130. My opinion. Hopefully it holds up. If I get, for $130, if you use a speaker for 2 years, you got more than your money's worth, in my opinion, as a DJ. Especially if you're making money with your equipment. This speaker is just, I'm impressed. For this price level, I've heard nothing else that sounds as good or is as nicely built in the quality. Not at all. So I do recommend this. 8 out of 10 on the speaker. Bose, I mean, obviously, 10 out of 10 for a battery-powered speaker. I don't think they're going to... I think Bose might come out with something that even tops this eventually, but I don't see any of the other companies coming out with something that's truly better. Everse 8 comes close, but you lose some stuff with it. It's a bigger speaker. It weighs a little bit more. So that's my final thoughts on this. I hope this video helped everyone out. And let me know if you are planning on buying this D1 speaker. I made this video because I didn't see any other videos about it on YouTube. And perhaps people are out there and looking at this speaker and thinking if it's worth buying or not. And in my opinion, it's worth the money for sure. Just go ahead and buy it if you're looking at a Bluetooth speaker. It's a no-brainer to me. Just go ahead and buy one. If you're looking to have an extra speaker, or it's your first speaker that's a Bluetooth speaker, that's battery powered, that's for events, not something that you just stick in your room at your home, then buy the Stage Right. I think you'll be satisfied with it.